Welcome back, folks. The first series of the winners bracket here at CWL Las Vegas is done with Splice 3-0ing Evil Geniuses in an extremely confident fashion. The desk is back. Nameless, Miles, Study, Pack. That was really very...
Even though the series
not a whole lot to say there for EG.
Even though it was a 3-0 series, I thought the series was pretty close.
It was pretty close.
It was a good game to watch. I feel like we haven't.
That was a great series. Extremely entertaining from start to finish. I mean, we had everything there. We had some incredible plays, some really great set pieces we saw from both teams, and it was 3-0, but the scorelines, you know, still. That was a fantastic series.
In every single map, there were specific instances, specific plays that determined the outcome of the map. Like, it was so close. Even in that 3-0 control, it was still super close. A couple different decisions.
I mean, yeah, in that first map, Hardpoint, there was a point where, you know, EG could have took a lead. It was pretty close in the middle. I think it was like 170 to 140. And at that time, Donnie was 22 and 13, so he was having a fantastic game. And then Saints was 10 and 20. So, you know, you got to kind of have your main slayers kind of being even with the other team if you want to even have a chance in that. But going into this S&D, I thought EG was going to be fantastic when Saints got that 1v2 in the very first round. And then after that, it was just stellar gameplay out of Splice all around.
Early on in this tournament, I saw EG do that same quick plant at A that we just saw there.
Yep.
They plant the bomb A, and then they all stay on site. They all stay on site, and it allows the opposition to retake them so much easier. They need to back up to Goonjar. Like, he always takes back his well towards the heady, and they never ever go back towards him. They just stay there, get retake, and then you see what happens.
That play out of Splice was amazing. They all wrapped back, retook from their side, flawless gameplay. It's like most teams, they're a little bit scattered. They're not that fast to get together and retake the bomb site. And it was amazing to watch out of Splice. That type of organization, that's how you win a championship.
So the long and short of it is that Splice are exceptionally good at search and destroy. Like, we've been calling it from day one, and they have not disappointed. And this was possibly the most clinical play. I mean, not to say that, you know, the scoreline didn't represent that, but like the most clinical play, the most in control they've looked when the set pieces are on their side. So this is a great sign for things to come for Splice. They're right to be confident.
And their specialist usage was on point, especially in that control. Like that Tempest to close the game out, amazing by Aqua. The War Machine previous in that round, perfect play out of Donnie. I think he picked up 4 kills with it. And that's how you have to play against a team like Evil Geniuses, who have been great thus far in this tournament. They come in versus Splice, and Splice makes quick work of them. Looking good. They have one more match to win before they qualify for that Pro League. But I don't even think they care about that. They want to win this tournament.
And again, let's look at this Splice team card really quick. That S&D record 5-1, that KD 1.16. They were so strong back.
As Ann said, they made good decisions, like deciding to, a lot of teams will push through, like one person will try to flank on a retake or whatever. Jared backed up towards his team and they retook together, and that's why they have such a strong search and destroy record.
There was a situation where EG had numbers in a lot of these rounds, and for some reason they just throw it away. There was a situation where it was 3 of them that were on B-bomb, and it was 4 of them at the doorway. For some reason, they decided to flood a doorway, get 2-pieced, and now the advantage is in Splice's favor, 3v2.
I mean, what do we think going wrong right now with Evil Geniuses?
I think they're simply outclassed, to be honest. I mean, I didn't think they played too bad in the first 2 maps. I think Splice it's quick reflexes. Like that play we were talking about where they wrap back as a team, that's something that it's refined, it's talked about, and I think Evil Geniuses are just a step behind them in that regard.
Evil Geniuses today, though, they haven't won a single match today, right? This has been a bad day for EG.
Not a single map.
Nothing. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Like, it's a bad look for them today, despite how solid the Friday was. That Friday was great. We were like, oh, EG, everyone's sleeping on EG, and they've been stinking it up today. I mean, what's going on there? I haven't seen too much of EG's matches. I've been custom home and taking care of it.
It was Heretics.
Heretic. That was it. It was Heretic.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, it was.
Nameless. Who do you think on EG is their in-game leader?
It's got to be Revan. Get him, put a mic on him. But that's a concern of mine as well. Like, I don't know who's their in-game leader. It probably gets frantic at times. They have a lot of individually talented players, and you know, in games it can probably get pretty chaotic for a team.
You know what's tragic? I wish I could see that diffuse that Royalty didn't get. I think he slid to the bomb with like 8.5 seconds left, and I'm pretty sure that he just didn't have ammo. So when he hit the button to defuse the bomb, I think he reloaded, caused him to fumble the bomb, and then bomb exploded, cost him the map.
That's gotta be frustrating,
so tough.
for sure.
That's so tough.
Let's swing over really quick now to Delta, where we do have map 4, Heretics, Red Reserve up right now, 2-1. Red
have struggled somewhat against Heretics. The hard points have not been going their way, and I'm think I'm quoting someone from Red when they were saying how when it comes to LAN, there is no way they're going to lose to Heretics. They have. They've had some issues playing them online. Obviously, playing from the United Kingdom to Spain, latency comes into effect. You know, it's just the nature of the internet. But they have made a solemn promise that when it comes down to tournament day, Red said they've got this, and I don't know, man. Heretics
Red said a lot
strong
for this tournament.
That's true. That is very true. Still, Heretics have been looking hot. I mean, the sounds, we've been hearing them screaming at each other from here during the previous matchup, so it's a heated game, to say the least.
I will say, I'm looking for Red to make a run in the losers bracket, right? Like, you've had a little bit of time throughout this tournament to watch other teams play, pick up on some of the meta, warm up, get some scrims in. They have the talent. They just haven't been performing. They haven't been getting the wins. I'm excited to see them in the losers bracket, see what they can do. Scrap's having a crazy game right now, 34-19.
One big change that Red have made since the last matchup, I believe, we now have Bance running the SMG again. So
there we go.
Yeah, so
they changed after the first day.
Yeah, so Bance and Zero have swapped roles, and I think that might have just caused that might have been the biggest source of their problems so far. I mean, I had a conversation with Bance in between the matches, like, man, what's going on? Yeah. And he said that, like, individually, everyone is playing very, very well, and that shows in their stats. The stats are okay, but the teamwork is like no one is on the same page right now. Like, they're going through some weird internal strife. Everyone seems to be in good spirits, which is an interesting thing. You know, everyone's smiling and having a good time, but in-game chemistry and in-game teamwork seems to be out of the window for them. But we're about to see the win come through for Red, so you know what? This might have been the turnaround for them.
I feel like this is something that they definitely needed. If you go 0-4,
for sure.
You're just completely demoralized going into the losers bracket. I don't know how you have any confidence. You can go up there and shoot as many bots as you want, but if you're not winning a series, then
now they know what the win feels like, at least in Black Ops.
Yeah, at least they got a little taste of it, you know?
Yeah, at least you can know that you can do it when you're on your game, of course, and not that they're unfamiliar, and with that losers bracket, we've seen them make moves there.
Yeah, they can make a run for sure. Like we were talking about, they have so much talent. Making that switch, Vance over to SMG, I think it can help them so much. I think this is a team that, if they can catch fire, they can make a run. There's so much talent in that roster. I would not be surprised seeing them, you know, in a top 8 situation going into tomorrow. We'll see what they can do.
You know, guys, that next alpha match is going to be Ant's favorite, LG, and of course, OpTic Gaming goes out today.
I'm going to say I'm going to go next door and watch it. Like I'm in that crowd. There's no way I'm not going to go watch that match.
The crowd in there is going to be insane for that match.
Yeah,
that's going to be
100%. Dashy versus Gunless. Talk about #1.
This match is crazy.
Damage versus #2 damage.
Formal versus Crim6. Like, Crim6 is amazing main AR in this game.
John versus Scump.
Yeah.
OpTic versus LG. This is just going to be a great match.
God, like, stacked build.
It's going to answer a lot of questions, right? Like that's the thing about this match. We're going to see how good LG truly is, and we're going to see if OpTic is dominant, right? Like, if they just destroy LG 3-0, OpTic is dominant. Like, LG looks pretty good thus far in this tournament, and if LG win, then that answers a lot of questions as well. I'm super excited for this match, just to see two just head honcho teams duke it out.
That's absolutely right.
To take this match. I just don't see how they're going to be. I just can't see them dominating.
Yeah, me neither.
I can't see that happening.
If they do, though.
If they do, it's going to be really, really hard to beat.
What if LG dominates OpTic?
That's the devil's advocate right there. What if? But there's no way that we see OpTic Gaming dominate LG. This LG,
there's no way.
They're not going to go quietly into the night. This is going to be a real series. So don't miss it, friends. Don't miss it.
Absolutely, you should not miss that. As we head toward the end of Day 2 of CWL Las Vegas, we've seen so many surprise moves. It has been an amazing, amazing day. Of course, Splyce 3-0ing Evil Geniuses there to begin the winner's bracket. But coming up, we have Luminosity Gaming versus OpTic Gaming on Alpha.
What's up, Jess here with LG Gunless. What has your experience been like so far on Luminosity?
It's been great, you know, playing a lot of Call of Duty, just kind of figuring out our strengths and weaknesses, and, you know, it's been a good time.
All right, so here at CWL Vegas, you guys are second in your pool. How do you feel about how pool play went as far as your team's performance and just how you did against the other teams?
I think we played pretty well in most of our matches, except for the UG series. I feel like we could have played a lot better in that series. But for the most part, I think the only thing that we're really struggling with right now is our control. I think our other two game modes are pretty good right now. But if we can focus up on that, I think we can beat pretty much any team.
Well, you are about to face OpTic Gaming. How confident are you feeling going into that series?
Pretty confident. I mean, they're not really looking to their form like they did on the line, but you know, we still gotta make sure that we're all on point, making sure that we're doing everything that we said that we were going to be doing, and just making sure that we clutch up, because it's just whoever's going to show up on this match. That's it.
All right. Well, thank you so much for the interview. Best of luck versus OpTic. And for now, back over to the casters.
All right, here we go. OpTic Gaming, Luminosity Gaming. This has got potential to be the match of the day, the match of the tournament thus far. And Joe, I'm going to tell you what, you know, coming into this, we were watching the previous series, and you said to me, if there was a team you thought that might be able to take a series off OpTic at this point, it might be LG. Why did you say that?
I'm thinking I said if there was a team that might just wake up Sunday morning and decide to win the tournament, it was Luminosity, and that's just due to the talent on this team. When you talk about these three guys, John, Formal, Gunless, you could argue 3 of the top 5 players the past couple of years.
Yeah, you
however, we just don't know how that team chemistry quite is. We're the other side of the stage, OpTic Gaming. They've dominated online. They've dominated here so far. And I don't believe OpTic has a weakness right now. I think they are stellar in all 3 game modes.
Well, I'm just hoping this is a battle. We saw this matchup so much last year after the change with OpTic Gaming, but you see undefeated in Respawn game modes thus far, 9-0. The newcomers TJ and Dashi putting in work. The veterans on this OpTic lineup of Scump, Crimsix, and Karma, we know what they are capable of, and OpTic has been a force so far in Vegas.
They absolutely have, and yeah, you gotta feel good, because when you talk about previous OpTic Gaming dynasties, or if they dominated, it's been in Respawn, you see that 9-0, but you add TJ and Dashi in for one reason. It's to get rid of that weakness and search and destroy.
And they only dropped one, right? I believe it's what, Splice, who we just saw kind of dominate their series. I think they got 6-0 smoked by them, but outside of that, OpTic has looked great. I think coming into today, you took a look at the overall KDs and modes, and I think Dashi was sitting at #1 in search and destroy, so obviously that's fit nicely, but you see the king there, Scump. He's looking at the top of his craft once again this year.
Yeah, back in form. What we were looking at those stats, one of the only submachine guns, or if the only in like that top 5.
That's been the history. Well, kind of that's been the truth for him historically. Like you look at the top 10 KDs, and you see AR, Scump, AR. Like that's how it's been kind of throughout his career. Obviously a little bit off last year, but right now you see him in the top of the mix. He's been sensational. You expect a big year out of him yet again.
Yeah, you absolutely do. And again, on the other side of a stage, Formal, right? I mean, previously on this OpTic Gaming roster, we know the drama that went down. The dynasty breaks up. Last year, they pretty much split the series, I think, right down the line. But the one big thing for Formal is he won in the end, right? He had a better placing at Champs. OpTic Gaming, they falter there. But it's a new roster, it's a new game, it's a new year.
Better placing at Champs, and he dropped like, what was it, like a 1-5 or something along the way. He went up at Champs, that's for sure, but this is a new title, and this is the first event. And I believe you saw a tweet from Formal a couple hours ago. He basically said once he found out about the matchup, he said our tournament starts tonight. This one versus OpTic Gaming, but now you see the full lineup there from Luminosity. It's terrifying. From a talent lineup, you just see those 3 guys in the middle. Not to count out Classic and Slacked at all, but those 3 in the middle, some of the most skilled players in the history of Call of Duty.
Yeah, I hit on those 3 guys already, but I want to talk to guys on the outside. I think those can be the X factors, right? I think Slacked has been one of the most consistent, sort of underrated players from year to year. The guy has championships on his belt.
And he's got to be kind of the leader here, right? In a way.
It's kind of weird to say. I think him and Gunless, I think Gunless is more vocal outside of the game. I think Slack's the guy that's much more vocal inside, trying to get these guys on the same page.
Well, and I think that's been part of what had some people nervous about LG maybe coming into this event. You'd watch their scrims, you'd watch Slack stream, and you would hear Gunless getting angry, frustrated, kind of a mix of that, but he's just a guy, I think he plays the game so much. He gets frustrated when his teammates don't guide. He gets frustrated when his teammates make the same mistakes over and over. It's just passion in my eyes. I know it sounds like anger or hatred, but he's just a passionate guy, man. He wants to win.
You're going to tell me there's not another guy on the other side of the stage that sounds the exact same because his name's Crimsix. I mean,
that's pretty true.
He's the same way. If you watch him online, he is not dealing with anything. He wants to win. He wants to get another championship. Again, a big disappointment last year for them. They don't want to do that again.
You know, we talked about this team, and I know if you put, let's say we forget about last year. You forget about last year and you just talk about OpTic Gaming kind of historically. Typically, if they slipped up, it was winners round one. If they got past winners round one, they were winning events almost every time. They were going on a deep run. So even though it's a different roster and you have what happened last year, I think there's still some value in that, right? Like this first round matchup.
And this is kind of how it happened. It felt like they would just sweep through pool play. Someone else would maybe take a misstep, and well, you have a matchup like this where it's OpTic Gaming versus Luminosity, where you see some other bracket matchups, and you're thinking, well, if OpTic was in that position, they would win it, no problem. But yeah, this is where they make a statement.
Well, talking about the game modes kind of for this series, obviously, when you look back at OpTic Gaming, the question mark has been search and destroy over the years. For the past 3-4 years, that has always been the conversation. Is that where you look for LG to maybe find a surprise, or is it a different mode for you?
I think it kind of has to be hardpoint. I think OpTic has looked great throughout this event. As you said, Splice.
Outside of Splice, yeah.
Outside of Splice. And you heard Gunless in that interview sort of talk about control. Maybe that's one respawn where if they do finally find their footing, they can steal it from OpTic. Because besides 100 Thieves, I'd probably put OpTic right there with them. And we saw how clutch OpTic can be in control, right? They'd be down 10, 15 lives, then make one team push online. Boom, get that capture. These guys know what they have to do. They know the different situations.
All right, so when we talk about this matchup, we know how stacked either side of it is. Is this more about maybe one individual player for you needing to really shine and step up? Or is it more just they have to fire on all cylinders? No one can really have an off game.
I think that's it. Nobody can have an off game. If you're looking at a couple of players maybe on each side who at times can have an off game, from what I've seen this event, I mean, I think the ICR players have had a rough going this event. You've seen a lot of Maddox, a lot of Sogs, right? So I'm looking at Krim. I think he needs to have a big series on the other side. I'm going to put it with Classic, right? If Mickey D can step on up, if he can be an X factor, this team is so tough to deal with, just speaking on aggression.
Well, you hear the crowd starting to get into it. You know how important round one of the winner's bracket is. You know how important map one can be. In the scheme of your best of 5 series, we're going to kick it off. Hacienda, Hardpoint, OpTic, LG. Let's get it going, Joe.
Yeah, on board with Jumpin'. Look at that. He has a lot of perks right now in his class setup. Only grip and stock 1 on this Sog. Gonna have that 1v1 matchup versus John, and you're gonna love that because it's gonna be John versus Scup all day, able to find a second on a Slack agent right on that hard point.
Looking good so far. A couple of crispy kills, and now he'll soak up this team in the hard point as his teammates try to find the lanes around him. Can LG find any pressure into Central Statue? They do get 3 in the kill feed, and this might be the opportunity to clear out OpTic Gaming. Karma, though, making some plays on the outside, pushing forward with TJ, a little bit of a bait and switch, and they're able to find the kill.
And a big thing for OpTic right now, they're trying to control those spawns, but a big kill just went down. Number 8, that was John, wins a big one-on-one, actually picks up 2 on Scump and Dashy. They're starting to go towards that back garage. You can see all those blue arrows, a solid start for both teams, but it's going to come down towards this garage hill. Who's going to be able to get those first rotation kills? Gunless able to find one. OpTic, they're inside, but they're towards the front. They don't have those close spawns. And there we go, LG starting to trade effectively.
Classic hits 1. Team kill comes in as well. The pressure's still here. You know, at least if you're OpTic, you're not letting Luminosity get comfortable and pick up easy time with those favorable spawns. They haven't been able to break through, but doing what they can to just keep on contesting. Kind of team kills coming out from either side so far, but getting set up with his power position at the Lambo will be Classic, making his presence known.
Yep, great job by LG. You can see where OpTic is spawning up. A bit of a splish. Dashy and Scum just trying to stay alive inside water. Watch that number 1. That's Karma. He spawns near the back. We'll see if LG is able to pick this up based on the communication, or do they even want to?
Give it up.
They're going to spawn it up. They're going to start to rotate towards those fences. And, I mean, they're feeling good. Yes, those 13 seconds will go to OpTic. But this is a solid rotation.
I think it's decent for OpTic as well, though. I mean, you contest for majority despite the fact that you don't have kind of those favorable spawns. You break through, you get the final 20 seconds, and you'll retake the lead. Well, actually, it's going to be basically a tie game here as they don't take the final couple of seconds. So let's now focus on Fences, and it's going to be TJ inside trying to make plays, but John will get the better of him on the second kill. Now, what can Dashy do? He was the phenom talked about so much leading up to this event, so much yesterday. But as the stakes continue to rise in this tournament, will he rise to the occasion? Because the big thing, last year, statistically, he was brilliant. But he wasn't making it to many Sundays late into Saturdays for the most part with those squads.
And you can see Dashy starting to pick up a couple of kills, but hill control all over to the blue team and Luminosity. Just taking a quick glance at the scoreboard. One guy we didn't touch on too much, Gunless, already 13-8. And when we talk to some pro players outside of the game, they think Gunless is the best in the world right now.
Well, he may not have led the way in KD through yesterday, but he had the most overall damage per map, which is a big stat. You're just putting shots in on everybody as he led the way in that category. But as we wrap up here on Fences, and we'll start to head over towards Statue. It is a bit of a separation finally for one team. Luminosity now taking a 20-point advantage, but honestly, with 3 hard points in, there's not that many points really on the board. I think it shows how balanced these two teams are and how much contest you've actually had throughout the course of the first 3 hard points.
I think what it also shows as well is we saw at the beginning of this week, there was changes in those hard point spawns, specifically on this map as well. And yeah, some of those spawns got a little bit closer, and I think that's where you could see some contest on hills like Lambo, on hills like Fences as well.
OpTic Gaming now going to take the leads. They've done a solid job here at Statue, but John and company coming forward. John picks up one. You already saw Scump invest his crash. John's still going to hold on for it for now as he works with his teammate pushing in from mid-cut. OpTic's going to try to get the break here, but Classic so far still able to call. But once again, just a lot of contests coming through, but those are some crispy shots out of Classic.
Yeah, Classic right now 13-12, and I mean, for a lot of people, that's kind of a big decision was dropping JCap for Classic, but that was one of the reasons why, right? It was just that gun skill, right? That's what Classic can bring to the table.
Well, let's get into our second set of rotations now as we get back to mid-fountain. On board with Karma, tags one, but he's able to get out the window at least for a moment. Tempest out from Dashik. Let me get to his POV, see what he can pick up. Already 2 kills to work with, still has 10 in the chamber. As he's looking to lock it down.
I think it's very interesting early on. You already saw a couple of specialists invested from OpTic Gaming where the side of LG, they've held on to this for the most part. Plus that's Karma's, but that picks him up streaks as well.
He's got 7 in a row, 15-10. Karma's starting to go off right now as he is taking over the game. The Karma chant starting the venue. You know, OpTic Gaming fans so happy to have him back, but he will fall a little bit short of that sniper's nest. Still has 2 of those big streaks to work with, and OpTic now looking to push this out to a 50-point advantage as they're really starting to get their footing in this hard point, Joe.
But again, invested a lot of the specialists, but it does pick up streaks. John with some nice shots on the Dashy. You saw some players talk about the Saga on land. You see a little bit of a preview right there. Attack 5 boost is popped by Luminosity, but what kind of use is it getting? Not a lot right now. Gunless trying to work the back. He picks up 2 though, as Karma finds them both with that Hellstorm.
And the last time we were at this hard point, it was so difficult for OpTic to try to get set up in the back, get control of those favorable spawns. But now behind the streaks, you're able to get through. But in comes Classic. A little bit of an assist with the explosion. He connects with the grab spike as well. And that will clear and allow them to get into the hard point. So just like OpTic was able to do when they had to try and fight from the front, you see some success now from LG from that same position, Joe.
Yep, great specialist usage. Only 20 seconds left. OpTic will still have about a 40-point lead as we rotate on through. But you can see on this, you still have that Tempest usage. You had Grab Slam, Tac 5 boost. LG invested a good amount. You still have the Lightning Strike on Karma. And we're gonna head on over towards Fences as OpTic even will get that scrap time. Still about a 60-point lead. Nice shots by Karma. Starting to heat on up, finds 2. And that's on the Formal, his ex-teammate. You know that feels pretty good.
I'm sure it does. I am sure it does. He's trying to survive here at Fences, but he's just being peppered with shots as he's stunned and has to tuck into cover. Walking Kremdu through mid-cut. The shot's not gonna hit. Is Slacked able to get the better of him? OpTic's held on to this 50 or so point advantage. Haven't been able to push it out further than that. What do you have is maybe the specialist advantage. The main thing, Gunless still has that War Machine, whereas TJ has already used it in this. That's going to be one thing we can take a look at. Karma has invested both of his streaks as well, so if LG's going to start to fight back, maybe this is when it happens, and Gunless hitting shots like that going to make it all the easier, Joe.
Yeah, Gunless, by the way, 29 and 19 with 41 seconds in the hill, having a great game one, but his team down by 40, still has the War Machine. And I want to take a look at both of those Vision Pulse guys, Formal and Crim, the ICRs. We talked about it in the pregame where we've talked about the ICRs sort of struggling a little bit here at Vegas. But as you said, Sogs, Maddox, they have that stock. We know how important that is.
What, -3 for Formal, -8 for Crim. Neither really taking over the game, but Formal will certainly have a bit more of an edge towards that Vision Pulse. But take a look at the kill feed now. It's going to be all green. Formal really the only one able to connect for LG. But as you take a look at 40 seconds remaining on this hard point outside its statue, and it's completely locked down right now by OpTic. Crim6 dancing, and Crim6 punishing Formal. Yikes, nice play there from Crim.
Gunless invests into that War Machine.
And it gets LG right back into the hard point. So despite the fact that maybe a bit of a 180 there out of Crim, it results in some decent time for LG. But again, it's just been this 50-point advantage. They can't get really over that hump at all.
Oh, hello. With a nice smack to the face on a Classic, and he's going to pop the Vision Pulse as well. Didn't want to rotate towards this first hard point. As we go into our third rotation, 2 minutes on that play clock left.
Take a look. He's sort of getting close to streak. Still a ways to go. 185 he's got to pick up to get that lightning, but just a couple of kills. And, well, he's getting really the assist with that Vision Pulse as well, so that gets him even closer now. Just 125 to pick it up, but maybe Formal returns the favor for that gunfight a little bit earlier, Joe.
Yeah, Formal's able to pick up a couple of kills now. Slacked and Classic. Nobody in the hill still for Luminosity. Finally, they're going to jump into it. Crim now. Starting to work up towards this staircase. Get top square control, but Slacked is under him, able to find one, and LG getting some good time, and the kill's starting to go their way a little bit.
What's been the big struggle for LG for you? Why haven't they been able to get back in this? They can't break through this gap.
It's just so tough. It's just the pressure of OpTic Gaming, the pushes that they've had on the rotations. LG really hasn't been able to get full control of the hard point. Again, we talked about it early on. Even that first garage hill, it's just been so much pressure from OpTic, just wasting and contesting time from LG.
Get over to Lambo. Now Karma going to be the first one in. That's a big one-on-one that'll get him set up. You've got nobody in the back right now, so they may be able to push back to get these spawns, and that's exactly what they're trying to do. It's going to be Karma that's up for it. One does spawn deep, so you're going to get who is that Slack that's going to spawn in the back, but the pressure comes in from both sides. Dashy able to make the play. Still here dancing, still here snapping, but Classic ultimately going to pick him up, and they will win both of those gunfights. So OpTic had a glimpse of control in the back, but finally LG able to get in, but OpTic really only 18 points away from closing this out. Luminosity have to be close to flawless from here on out.
Yeah, now you know Karma wants to invest in this grab slam. Oh, but John with that. Here we go. Tempest on the dash. See what he can find. Able to find Slacked. I think he had another one chained inside the hill. Gunless, he's going to peek it. Yeah, see you later, pal. But there's two. He's the only one here, but he's still hitting shots. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. There's no reinforcements for him, but here comes the grab slam. He decided to pause. I mean, that's the worst time. At least he didn't invest in it. Still has it.
So hold on, you saw it lining up though.
Yeah, he wanted to do it.
He wanted it so bad, but the patience there, the three-time champ, able to save it for another day. John now going to invest this lightning strike, or possibly his ping for information. He is going to call it in.
Yeah. Only 15 seconds needed for OpTic, and he picks up two of his teammates. That's not what you want at all.
That's not helpful.
He takes down Gunless and Slack.
That's not helpful at all.
And now OpTic on the hill. Classic trying to contest as much as possible. Here comes Grab Slam, able to find one. Can he find the second on the Formal? He can. And OpTic Gaming, this should be their game right here.
This could be, but Slack does have his Tempest out, trying to get in. They haven't finished it out yet. Gonna chain it into a second. Classic hits through mid-cut, and Luminosity still surviving. Now, Classic has his Grab Slam to work with as well, but if they needed to be flawless before, they absolutely have to be now. They need these final 20 seconds. They have to win the rotation as well, which we'll start to focus on in a matter of seconds here.
That's your teammate.
Did they know what side they're on? Stop killing your friends.
I think they're just investing, so they try to get this thing. Now, we talked about, so they get the rest of this time. We talked about the streaks, though. John still has a Hellstorm. Slacked has a Lightning. They can win rotations, but they have to invest them now. TJ's going to get on the hill. Are they going to win the game before this is over? They are.
Oh, my God. The streaks don't get in time, and OpTic survive. It looked like it may be a comeback scenario for a moment, but basically, from that, it was around 100 to 50 or so. OpTic just held that like 50 to 60 point edge for basically the rest of the game. I mean, there was really just that separation early and they held it throughout.
Yeah, great game by OpTic right there. But I think one key thing for LG, as you saw at the back half of the game, John and Slash started to heat up just a little bit, right? They started to get those streaks because throughout that game, I was keeping my eye on the scoreboard. Slash was around -10, just a little bit, really need to pick it up. And that's what we talked about throughout this matchup. Every player has to be on point.
What stood out for you maybe from the OpTic side? What was the big part of them getting that W?
I think it was Karma, right? I think Karma had a great couple of plays, able to get those streaks, allows them to win those rotations. Dashi had a couple of good Tempest plays, but it was just the teamwork out of OpTic Gaming early on allowed them to stay in the game. That's where LG could have had a bigger lead, but the pressure from OpTic was too good.
Well, now the test for OpTic will be search and destroy. We'll see if LG is going to be able to answer back, but so far so good. That pushes OpTic out to 10-0 in Respawn. They are flawless there. I saw the stats for just a second. I wasn't able to see them quickly enough to maybe see who put out the major damage throughout the course of that one, but
I was only able to catch OpTic. It was, I believe, Karma and Dashi. Both of those players were over 6K.
You gotta love to see that from Karma. If he's feeling any pressure from being back on the squad, he's not showing it right now, Joe.
I don't think he's feeling any pressure. I think he's right. I think he's feeling pretty good. He knew as soon as that team dropped him, they made a mistake.
You guys already dropped me once. I'm coming back.
I'm cool. No pressure on me.
Well, map 2 will be search and destroy on frequency. What are your keys to look out for in this particular map and mode?
I'm actually interested to see, I mean, we saw a lot of it on yesterday. Is Dashi going to invest in that sniper rifle when you look at the side of Luminosity?
Pretty good with it. He's pretty good with it.
John as well, right?
Yeah, that's true.
LG, a lot of the times last year, and I think this is one of their kryptonites, is they just relied on John's sniper a little bit too much. But frequency is a very close quarters map. It's a lot of 5-man pushes where on a map like Arsenal, there's a little bit more lane to work with that sniper rifle. So we'll have to see if those teams invest in that.
Well, we'll get loaded into that shortly, but so far, so good for OpTic Gaming. Again, to remind you guys who maybe just joined us, this is a winner's bracket round 1 matchup. So this is huge. Guys basically playing to get into the top 6 already. And this event, what's so important about it, yes, if you already are at this spot, you know, you've already gotten into the top 32, you guarantee yourself to play into kind of that play-in black bracket we're gonna have for the Pro League. But the next major step is to try and get top 4. There are only 4 teams from this tournament that will secure a spot in the Pro League. And that's just got to be a massive weight off your shoulders. Like even if you're as good as a team like OpTic or LG, which you think will be a shoo-in for the league, you still just don't want that added stress of having to play in, right?
Yeah, there we go. What's on the line? $250,000 prize pool, as you said, and top 4 teams qualify for the Pro League. That's really like a big chunk of their season. They want to be there, getting that land practice. I can't wait for that to get started.
Still, you got to take this series to continue moving through this winner's bracket. And again, it is double elimination. So if you lose this, these teams still able to go on and fight. Some teams obviously had to start in the loser's bracket and have a long road ahead of them. These 2 squads a bit easier. Get the rest a bit easier as you're sitting here in the winner's bracket. You kind of have house money to play with. As we got a shot of Formal right there, just talking through with the troops, thinking through what they're going to improve in this search and destroy. A shot of the beautiful stage here in Las Vegas, but let's get right into it. Frequency, search and destroy, LG desperately need to answer back.
Well, yeah, especially if Gunless feels that control is their weakest game mode, right?
You gotta go 1-1
You don't want to be down 0-2 going into that game 3. And again, if you're OpTic, this is a true test for this roster, right? Search and destroy. Yes, they've only dropped 1, but this is where it matters the most in this winner's bracket.
All right, here we go. Game 2. You mentioned the sniper rifle. We'd see it at play. Snipe out. Dashing the lone man, watching towards kind of outskirts towards that A site. It's a big presence from Luminosity across mid-map right now as Crim tries to get eyes from their main lobby.
You can see OpTic starting to work towards this lower site. Stun goes in, though. Great teamwork out of Luminosity. But Crim does find 1 on a gunless, so now 4 versus 4. Scump plants the bomb, and you gotta love this. You set up Dashi, right? They plant for him, and LG's gonna have to try to defuse with this guy, with the sniper. Full team's just shouldering. Nice shot by Formal. He forced a little bit of flinch on a Dashi. Dashi just missed that one. But yeah, he's gonna hit that one again, and now a 1 versus 3. This round's over.
How many times have we seen those quick scopes hit by Dashi? The best in the business when it comes to that. And you thought for a second he missed the first shot. Formal gets that first bullet in. Maybe there's an opening there, but it's tough to find an opening against a player of his caliber, especially when you've got 2 to 3 of your teammates in front making plays, and you saw it there from Scump. But Dashy continues to show he is one of the most skilled players in the game right now.
So already an adjustment that needs to be made for LG on their defensive side. You can't allow that bomb to go down if he has that sniper rifle out. If you are, you're going to have to try and hit basically a huge flank and try to make Dashy irrelevant.
Now taking a look at OpTic on the defensive side of things. TJ getting right into bottom mid. You can see on X-ray multiple players.
It's a lot of pressure
right above him,
from
but you've
LG.
got TJ and Scump here. It's just like a spider's nest waiting at the bottom of this ladder. If they try to make a play, but look at this, it's going to be a wrap back now from LG as they want to mix up the hit. They're going to head towards A, and the only person there is going to be Dashy. Dashy really kind of from their top window, going to have eyes on this.
Yeah, Dashy's just going to peek it, gain that information, and back on up. They're going to just take this as a 5 versus 5. Slack getting pushed up towards its elbow. Bomb, I imagine, starting to be planted here soon. Yep, starting to go down. But here we go. Here comes the push. Dashy on in, gets that first blood. Classic plants the bomb.
And I love the stun that comes in. Yeah, make sure there's no trade opportunity to come through. Dashy finds another one. Scump and TJ on the kill feed as well. And suddenly it's all on Gunless to try and make the play.
Does have a cluster, but I don't think he's gonna have time to get to it. Nobody on OpTic's on the bomb actually, but there we go. They don't need to be still. Plenty of time for them. A beautiful retake from them.
2 clean rounds. They give up the plant, but they're able to make the play. And honestly, it probably just comes down to the first play. They find the first pick, and then also the stun comes through, so there's just no trade that's able to be there. Nice play from Dashy. You saw him connecting the first round with the snipe there with the Maddox around the edge. Just good patience and transition from OpTic. What do you maybe need to see switched up on either end from LG?
I mean, I just think for LG, it's just that first blood on that offensive round. But we'll see now on defense. Are they going to allow the plants to go down towards that B side? Is Dashy going to keep sniping, or is it just, maybe one thing he throws every round and then to try to keep LG on their toes? We'll have to see his point of view.
Shot at Dashy right now, just getting ready for this next round. Already having such an impact on this map, but let's get right into round 3. He started out 3-0. I mean, to be fair, they got Crim 2-0, Scump 3-0. Really good start for most of OpTic Gaming, and it's going to be a fast hit in. There's going to be 2 players there from LG. John waiting at the edge. John tagged up immediately. Both players wiped out. That's going to be a free plant. The rotation's going to come in. Mid-map is being watched by Crim6, and this is a tough spot for LG within seconds of this round.
You want to know what that was? That was an adjustment from Luminosity, but OpTic catches them off guard. John and Slack were just going to hit through the elbow right away and flank through that B site. Instead, OpTic Gaming, they just go, hey, Dashy doesn't have the sniper rifle. Once again, he's going to switch through it every now and then, try to keep LG on their toes, just as he did there. And now a 1 versus 3, another clean round for OpTic.
OpTic just getting the kills early and often. You see what, Gunless in a 1v4, now Classic in a 1v3, just all these kind of unclutchable scenarios. Well, clutchable, I suppose, but very, very tough situations they're finding themselves in. Was that just sort of a blind counter in a way? They just call what perfectly works against LG's defense in that round?
I mean, that's just the strategy from OpTic. That's exactly what they want. They go to B, they have the sniper looking over them. LG is thinking they're just going to do it again, because why not?
That's all TP, dude. I see him right over there. That's all TP.
He's got to be.
TP, nod your head. Those your play calls? Yeah, yeah, maybe. He's ignoring me. Dashy almost gives one a haircut, can't snap out, gets dropped down to 45 health, but the pressure now going to come in. Once again, the opening kills, the trade so effective for OpTic Gaming. There's only 2 left for LG. Like, these opening moments of the rounds haven't been close. Why is OpTic trading so much more effectively than LG?
OpTic's perfectly okay with giving up the A site, as we saw in the last defensive round, and LG try to hit him up with that 5 versus 5 hit, but Formal able to win 1. So now a 2 versus 3. Gunless still alive as well. If you want a couple of people still up for this team, it's definitely these 2.
Gunless sees one. Once again, how many times have we seen him end up snap and get away with his life? Formal's going to get caught. Sog up close and personal. Gunless once again in a tough position. But this time 2 to work against instead of 4. And he finds a sniper as well. Thankfully for TJ, he gets a couple shots in to kick up his rifle at the final second. Gunless now trying to get done with a Maddox. It's going to be a Sog. He has to fight. Can't get the final bullet in. Scump wins the 1-on-1. and OpTic remain perfect in this search and destroy.
And Gunless probably wins that 1v1 if the TAC-5 boost isn't up, right?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
You saw the TAC-5 boost
bullet,
up,
right?
Yep, he was down to 40 health. Well, make it 8 health.
Yeah.
So there we go, 1 specialist invested, but that is perfectly okay. Why? Because now you have a 4-0 lead. That's what happens when you're steamrolling like this. You're gonna get those specialists much quicker than your opponents.
Well, let's take a look when we get back into this. If LG has anything to work with to maybe fight back.
How do they have kills?
God, what do they have? 8 total kills right now. You got streaks on Scump now to work with as he's 5-0. Dashley finally dropped, but he's still sitting at 5-1. Everybody really putting an effort here, but now they have the streaks to work with and the specialist advantage. How hard is this going to be? How do you even bounce back at this if you're LG?
And look at this play from OpTic Gaming. They've slowed it down a little bit. The first 30 seconds of the round wasted. Gunless does find the first blood, so that helps.
And that's Crim. But Crim's usually playing on an island, kind of watching mid-map, just this time gets picked.
If they get the bomb down at A, you do have the streaks to work with if you're Scump. And both of these bombs are in the wide open. It's going to be very tough to retake. Why not invest in them and get that 5-0 lead? Is Scump going to try and get out?
Think about it here in this 3 versus 5.
Well, he's got to get out alive, and I'm not sure he's able to do so. Finally, a round advantage for LG as they have a 2 versus 5, but Dashy and TJ are still up.
They're on it though.
Oh, that's a sniper's nest. He's got a sniper's nest in.
It actually comes in, picks him off the bomb.
He's going to call it right away.
A second away. It was a second away, and he gets picked off the bomb. They're going to clutch this up. It's locked by himself, and there's the kill. OpTic somehow come back in that round. I was wondering, I was like, he's on the bomb. I was taking a look at the objective. I was like, he needs like a centimeter left in this.
Ooh, sniper's nest are
Yeah, I love that. That burned the skies. It fries him off the bomb.
Here's a replay. I mean, at this point, I thought TJ was going to invest into it, but he just says, you know what, it's a 2 versus 2. We can win this without this streak, able to find another kill, and then him and Dashy with that teamwork.
It took me a second. I was like, how did he just get peeled off the bomb?
I didn't know he called in a sniper's nest. I had no idea.
So he got it in right before he dropped, so he gets the plant in, he picks it up. We just obviously saw it from the opposite POV as he gets picked off from behind and can't get away. But what a heads-up play from Scump to call that in right before he drops. And now you've got TJ with a drone squad and a 5-0 advantage. Luminosity getting tucked into bed early here in Vegas.
Yep, John misses a couple of snipes, and this is usually what happens when LG goes into desperation mode, is John is like, you know what, I'll throw all strategy out of the window. I'm going to try to find a couple of snipes. Hellstorm invested, doesn't find anything. It does. Finds Formal, but John had first blood on the Crim.
You hear those drone squads. They're so scary. John's like, all right, I'm going to try and take a shot and get out of here. I don't think I'm going to be picking these things out of the sky. The cluster's gonna pop him back to mid-map. Scump ready and waiting. Scump finds 2. He's 8 in 2. War Machine now out. 1 more remaining. We'll see you later. 6-0 OpTic. And King Scump on his feet.
And well, we talked about their search and destroy. Why did they pick up TJ and Dashy? And that is the exact reason why. They have no weakness in any game mode anymore.
And you gotta like that too. It's not even like they're grinding out a search and destroy, that they're having to, you know, really go deep in rounds, into the specialists, using all these different strats. Like, it is just so clean, pretty as LG get rolled through. A perfect search and destroy game from OpTic. They're 10-0 in respawn and remain perfect. They are lights out right now in Las Vegas and looking to finish this in 3-0 fashion. We'll get to control after this quick break. Welcome back, Las Vegas. We've got OpTic firmly in control of this series, up 2-0. LG showing no life in that search and destroy. Where's it gonna come from? Because what's scary, they said the control was the scary mode for them. You heard that from Gunless. Are they buried already? Are you counting them out already?
I'm thinking so. I mean, it is not looking good for LG at all. The hard point was pretty back and forth, but that lead that OpTic just held on to basically the entire
game. Yeah. Oh, let's take a look at it. You see the 250 to 205 victory, then the 6-0. They just fried him. They fried him in the game too. But Gridlock, we'll see. We'll see. I mean, I watched a little bit of OpTic throughout this in scrims. I've seen them kind of put basically no presence towards one of the zones, kind of completely worry about focusing on one as they weren't. And this is a couple weeks ago, so we might see some new strats out of them defensively, but I don't know, man. They've looked so strong. It's just like LG. We know they have the firepower to do it, but they seem to be a step behind right now.
And I feel like even since yesterday, like we've seen Control already develop a little bit more. You've seen a lot of split pushes out of the European teams, just trying to throw teams off guard. We've seen delayed sort of breakoffs. We'll have to see what OpTic and Luminosity have up their sleeve because, well, maybe OpTic doesn't have to pull it out, but LG definitely does.
They need something. If you're going to figure out how to improve your Control game, now would be a good time to do it. 10 p.m. here in Vegas, and well, the biggest match they've played thus far. You expected this to be a closer series. You heard Miles say no matter what, LG's going to show some fight. Well, if they're going to show some fight, it can't just be in the opening minutes, that hard point. They've got to get it going. They've got to get it going now. But the OpTic chance building in the venue, and the opening kill is going their way as well.
Yeah, when you were talking about sort of the breakoff strategies, it was really around this A site, right? Like how much do you want to invest into it? Because it seems like the offensive team, when they put a lot of pressure on it, they should be able to get it pretty easily. Crimson's trying to go on a bit of a flank, not able to find something, not able to find anything. Gunless, classic find kills. And well, LG should be able to control A, but so that being said, it's so much easier to defend.
It's so much easier to defend. That's literally what when I was watching, I heard Karma basically say, like, dude, screw A. Like, we can't hold it. You lose the first wave, you're in trouble. This time they invest 2 different waves at it. They end up down 3 rounds, minus the zone, and now they've got to focus on B anyway. We'll see what they can do, but some pressure from Slack. Getting it done. TJ tries to play through mid, but can't connect on the shots, and all the kills going the way of LG. Up 5 now, 1 more zone to contest, but they haven't been able to break through the back line. And you can see that number 7 on the minimap. You see how pushed up Karma is on the opposite end. They're going to continue to funnel through that dojo side of the map.
Yeah, and why not if you're LG? Kind of do what you want right now. You still have a minute.
They're in their spawn.
Clock. Yeah, you're going to try and get some spawn kills. You have the 5 life advantage, and they know that. So there's no pressure on them to capture B at all.
Yeah,
they can win this round by getting these kills.
Just bleed them out.
Yep.
Finally, it looks like OpTic get a foothold in their spawn. Karma finally tries to wrap all the way through. Like he's trying to spawn kill, trying to find something. As he's been on their side of the map through their back alley this entire time, just trying to make a play. Finally, maybe this is a chance for him to do it as he tries to get behind one, but Dashy's already found both those kills. As Karma, unfortunately, kind of been on no man's land throughout most of this latter part of the half.
Yeah, you can see Classic and Gunless inside boxes right now. Both of these guys just staying alive, and it's kind of like the same thing on the other side of the map, as you were just saying. There's 2 players now, all of LG pushed through Dojo once again. Still a 5 life advantage.
This is the play right now. This is the play.
Go for a big play.
We have them wrapping back. He's got to find multiple kills. This is going to disrupt everything LG's trying to do and immediately get them back kind of into kills volume as TJ snaps from 1 to 2. And the deficit now down to 3.
There we go. They stopped the push.
So now it's a little bit more difficult for LG if you're thinking that bleed out mentality. Now maybe you got to start to focus on this zone, and that's what they're going to do. They try to get in. It's Dashy inside. Him and TJ, the newcomers, working in tandem to shut it down. And suddenly, for the first time in this first round, OpTic Gaming take control in the lives department.
Yeah, you see what Karma was talking about with that A site compared to the B site, right? A little bit easier to defend if you can get your kills. Crim and Dashy. TJ still alive, but here comes Latin Formal, 3 versus 5. Gunless on a big flank, able to find 1. Can he find the second? He can. 2 versus 3. Crim is there. Crim 6 as well now, a 2 versus 2.
Oh, Gunless is eating well right now, just making the plays, and this is the 2v2. This is what you want in the first round of Control. Can Gunless keep it going? As his streak up to 3 on that play. He's got Dashy in the back line. Dashy ready and waiting. Classic gonna get dropped as well as Dashi finds the final two. And OpTic, who trailed throughout, what, 90% of that first round, are able to pull it out. But Gunless sure as hell made things interesting down the stretch.
Yeah, here's that play of the round right here.
This last gunfight's the nasty one.
Yeah. Woo! My. That's why a lot of people are saying Gunless is one of the best in the world. That's what we were talking about. He can pull out plays like that, but yeah, just the teamwork from OpTic really thrived there. It was really Karma who goes on that big flank through the middle of the map when LG were pushing up towards their side, then forces LG to hit through the front, and well, that's when OpTic were able to close out that round.
Just like we saw LG do on offense, it'll be OpTic directly into Zone A to try and get the capture. They've been steamrolling throughout the course of this game. Let's see if they can keep it going. Let's get right into an Astro Gaming listen-in with OpTic Gaming.
Left side mirrors. Guys, get out,
Nice, get out.
Could be Dojo.
We'll pinch. I'm watching left side mirrors.
I'm getting on the glitch.
I have left side mirrors.
Yeah, get on it. Left side mirrors, one shot, Nick. Nick, one shot.
Don't get in front of me, Brandon.
I give a pitch, He's in hill.
One in hill.
In hill, got me. He's weak.
Got him. One more their side.
Outer. Nice, let's go.
Dojo, formal dead.
This guy's mirrors, I think, right?
No. All of them.
Owner spawn. He's back info.
Okay.
He's right to the left. Nice.
Let's go.
Yo, come towards house with me.
Go back.
Omar.
Yo, I have Crash. I'm gonna use it. I'm using Crash.
Bike. He jumps, he's dead.
Go, bros.
Back 18, heady.
Yep.
Nothing our yellow, Damon. We can go.
He's 18, heady.
Yeah. Come back.
Back on me, please. Watch back on the.
Oh shit, underpass. Yeah, he's going front bike.
Back 18.
Behind you.
Right in front, guys. Right in front.
Yep.
Yo, crates, Nick. One shot.
18. He's in 18.
I got 18.
Still in crates.
He's in 18.
Try to push me.
Just 18.
Yo, I'm 250 on streaks.
Still in 18.
I'm in 18.
Jumped out of crates, Jerry. Crates pillar.
Watch a pillar.
Back 18.
I'm 1 kill off streaks.
Backside 18 again.
You hear Scump going off so close to these streaks. See one more gunfight. It might be formal. Not even gonna need it. The assist comes in. Full streaks through. He's got everything to work with, and that's a second round for OpTic Gaming as they are lighting up LG.
Scum getting fired up right now. He knows it's a new year. And OpTic looking comfortable in that offensive round.
Yeah, did you hear anything you didn't love about those comms?
No. I mean, that was sort of one of the big question marks when you add another player. How is that communication going to flow? And it was flowing perfectly from them right there.
Ooh, close hard point. But since then, it is all OpTic. They need one more round to move into the top 6 and continue into round 2 of the winner's bracket. And Scump, he's got these streaks to work with. Just playing inside a post. Hellstorm in. At least gets one around the back. He's talked about how difficult they are to use here, but he gets it done with the Hellstorm and the Sog as he finds a pair. Weakens one up for Daphne trying to make a play. Oh my God. It goes from worse to horrible right now for LG. There's nothing to highlight right now. They can't find anything to get going, man.
Yeah, just taking a look at the specialist, you did see a good amount invested from OpTic last round. They're gonna try and stop this. They push, they find a couple of kills. Skunk goes down. TJ still hitting the front, able to find one. Him and Krim starting to get pushed up. Plus you have the drone squad from Skunk. So they defend the site. Only a minute left for LG to at least get 1 point.
TJ, yeah, I would say that. In a pretty scary spot, calls it in. He's able to pick up the assist as well. Yep, they want to close this game out right now. They don't want to see another round. Shots in the back alley. Somehow Gunless staying up, but now a grenade in his pocket, and also the Maddox of Karma shoved into his face. But the kill feed all green, an 8-kill advantage as they continue to soar through the back line of Luminosity.
Yeah, they're up 11 kills right now. LG, the one good thing for them is they have a couple of ticks on both sites.
Oh, and they're in Vegas, so they can go cry at the tables. Or
well, they'll still be in the loser's bracket, maybe.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. That's true.
They're going to have an early day tomorrow, but they're still in it.
Yeah, maybe actually, so no tables. They need to get to bed. Actually, what they need to do. Formal finds a couple to try and bring them back into it, but every kill from LG answered by OpTic Gaming. Now it only seems to be a matter of time. We'll extend that time, though, as A will be captured for Luminosity. They've already got one tick into B as well.
Nice.
This is still technically doable as the Tac 5 does come in and the kill feed lights up. Blue, yes, one of them's a team kill, but maybe too early for the chance. They still have a chance.
Yeah, we've seen OpTic clutch up in situations just like this online. Formal able to find the first one. Grab slam probably going to be invested here. He's got to use it. He doesn't use it, but they do get 2 ticks. Only 5 lives left. Nice cluster out of TJ, able to find one more. But Gunless and John still alive. Gunless able to find another one.
OpTic's gonna go. I don't think they're gonna get in. They gotta get there in time. It's so close to finishing. OpTic trying to soar through. They can test for just a second.
Oh, they got it. They got it.
Oh my God. Whoa, OpTic raced to get in, but not able to get there. Now you think about this though, unlock it, you get what, the drone squad comes in, like the lightning, the hellstorm,
everything.
They use the what?
War Machine. But the same on the side of LG. You saw Attack 5, you saw War Machine, you saw the Tempest.
But I think the big thing for me is OpTic went for the jugular.
Yep.
And then missed. So LG still alive. Wow, that was close down the stretch. I couldn't tell if they got it or not for a second.
Let's take a look. You still have Vision Pulse on Formal. On the other side, Crim getting pretty darn close. Dashy's already almost had another Tempest. So definitely specialist advantage for OpTic. Karma able to find that first blood into this round, but Classic there to trade it. OpTic already progressing at A.
Yeah, they already got 2 ticks into A. They're going to have that in no time. It's just really on whether LG want to give this up and just kind of set up the hold.
I think
they're going one by one, it looks like.
Plus you have the split push. Karma, he comes up off spawn, he's already at B.
And there's nobody there. Well, John will be here in a second. We should be able to get eyes on, but he loses the gunfight. Is Karma going to be able to nearly get a tick by himself? He keeps dancing inside, but finally will be caught. 3 kill advantage for OpTic. And they've just got to capture B. Crim6 now has his vision pulse, so you have it on both sides available. Maybe it comes down to who gets more value out of that, Joe.
Yep, nice stun from LG. They're down 2 lives, but it's obviously a lot easier to defend B than to attack it. That's why OpTic's just playing a little bit slower. They have a lot of time to work with, just trying to find a couple of kills. Here we go, Vision Pulse. Sounds like it goes off from the side of LG, but Formal just gets smacked in the face by Karma.
Doesn't really get much out of that whatsoever, and now you have Karma getting close to the ground slam. Dashy's got another Tempest to work with. Crim has his Vision Pulse. This is looking like OpTic's game to win here down the stretch, but LG not going down without a fight. But OpTic has so much to work with here. When do they opt to invest? Some of these powerful specialist abilities. Dash, I don't know if he needs it, as his Maddox looks like a specialist weapon.
So we talked about what did that Vision Pulse do from Formal? It stopped really that flank push, right? It's forcing OpTic Gaming to really hit through the front. That's what LG wants from them. That's why OpTic's starting to switch it up. You see Karma starting to go through Dojo. You have Dashy starting to push through middle, but John is ready for it. So now a kill lead on the side of Luminosity. And look at that, John just goes. That #1 arrow going on a big flank. Gunless and Formal, double ICRs. Find those kills. This is exactly what LG wanted. But as you said, a lot of specialists for OpTic Gaming to invest.
John tries to get in on the flank, but he is going to end up getting caught. You've only got a couple more solid cracks at this. And LG set up and waiting. You've got what? Scump and Karma looking to hit through mid. Karma's going to drop, so Scump's going to be isolated now. He's at least able to pick up one. I believe you'll see Vision Pulse coming in from Crim6, so this is a chance for them to make a play. Trophy out, gunfight's going their way. They're trying to get through, and now you're going to invest the Tempest. He's got to go off. Dashy has got to go big. The first has been tagged, and the first point about to be captured as well. Karma's going to go ahead and ground slam, at least picks up Gunless as he flies through. Yeah, I thought for a second he was just going to leave him there, maybe wait for the player to push out a post, but Dashy's now found 4 kills in a row. Can't connect on them deep. Just still contesting with just under 30 seconds to go. Dashy finally going to end up dropping. Some damage done, but it's still an 8-5 advantage now for LG.
Yeah, but this isn't over yet. Here we go, 6-4 now, and LG a little bit staggered. 2 ticks about to go in. Formal going to get on and contest. He has an ICR, though. That's not the position that you want to be in.
You don't say.
Scump has a concussion. Dashy washing over him.
Oh, he has Assault. He got to pick up Assault off the ground, so he's up close and personal and has that submachine gun to work with. Only 3 players remain. They're trying to clutch up. Now it's all going to be on Dashy. The pressure comes in. Dashy not able to snap. And back-to-back rounds for LG as they get it to a 5th and final round here in Game 3.
Grab Slam out of Karma was used. Tempest was used out of Dashy. We'll have to take a look
Vision Pulse from Crim6.
Yeah, we'll have to take a look at what LG has going into this final round, or if they're close to something. But if you're OpTic, you're thinking about that round number 3, and well, as you said,
where you went for the jugular.
Yeah, they went for it. They invested so many streaks, so many specialists.
Here, I mean, you invest 3 specialists as well, just trying to close this LG team out. You do not want to see a 4th map. Let's get right into this final round.
All right, so just taking a look. Gunless has the War Machine. John getting close to attack 5. I mean, they're pretty much across the board, very close. Where TJ really the only one for OpTic Gaming.
See the pressure towards B first this time. We've seen all the opening action really towards that A site. LG trying to mix things up, but you can see the defensive stack in. Dashy finds a pair of kills, almost picks up a third. It'll be TJ that's able to get it on the edge, and that first push from LG thwarted for now. They've got to think about the other side, but look at Karma. He's been able to tuck away in a corner here by Tree.
This is tough. This should just be traded out, right? He should just find one kill and it's traded. If he even finds one, not going to be able to do so.
Snip it out.
Yep, and here we go. LG going to get on this A, but Scump on a good flank here. How many kills can he find? And looking like none. John with a couple of key kills on a couple of lurk plays out of OpTic.
Gunless inside of A, just trying to get as much as he can. One tick will come in, but it's going to stop there for now as the defense picks it up from OpTic Gaming.
Back to B.
And they go right back. Yeah, they swap right back to the opposite side. 2 players going to try and get there. It's going to be Crim6 and Karma. They will be first up. You still have Formal with that mid-cross, so the transition over to help, not easy, as he's at least delaying that and finding a couple of kills before he's finally shut down.
John was on the flank. He pushed through boxes, but he found nothing.
You got to get something there.
He didn't know if he should help out his team or just hold that position. Puts him in a very awkward spot. Watch that play clock. Only 30 seconds for LG right now.
If you're going to transition back to B, you at least got to get a tick or something in there. They've now, like you said, the clock's against it. They got to make a play. The defense from OpTic Gaming thus far has been too strong. But Gunless still has this War Machine to work with, and he's finding kills in the back line. But every kill they find gets traded out almost immediately by OpTic Gaming.
Yeah, he was just trying to, I was just about to say, he was just trying to get that trophy before he invested into the War Machine. Able to, find one kill on the Dashy. LG on the other side of the map, starting to get towards A. Dashy actually picks up streaks. He's 39 and 18, Clint.
Dashy going off right now, and the streaks are going to come in immediately, splitting the back line of Luminosity, but they will get the capture point. So the time going to be extended on as they're able to pick up that A site. TJ's now got War Machine.
I think Gunless invested into his as well.
Yeah, and it was really only one player on that side of the map. I think he wanted to try and win a one-on-one, maybe back him up individually and see if we could pick up maybe a tick, but that's not going to be the outcome. So it will be a 3-life advantage right now for OpTic. And this push right now from LG is everything. Classic's got to get something out of this ground pound. He's got to.
They have to get trophies down as well. I'm not sure how many they have to invest, but they need to because the War Machine is up. For OpTic Gaming, Crim finds one on the Formal. 5-life advantage right now for OpTic in this round number 5. And there we go, Crim finds another one. Now TJ starting to get pushed up. And here we go, bombs away out of TJ.
2 players left, 1 player. It's all on Gunless. You can smell the 3-0 now. Gunless pinned back alley. Cluster out, just trying to do whatever he can, but now they're soaring forward. TJ's there. He takes the gunfight. And OpTic take it in a convincing 3-0 fashion.
Dashy almost had 3 Tempests, by the way. Like, he was so close.
That is absolutely nuts. Dashy, he is a player, well, for now and for the future, you're going to be seeing quite a bit of, but my God, this OpTic Gaming team, they look scary. To be fair, I mean, LG did play, I know it's a 3-0. They played them tough in game 1. They played them real tough in game 3 after they brought it back for that 5th round. You're looking at the stats for a second. What stood out to you?
Dashy, 8,100 damage.
I think I saw like the top couple you've had. I believe, I think Formal dropped like 8,400 versus UIU. But outside of that, I mean, that was a matchup like this where you're going up against a team like LG and you're able to output that much. I mean, what was the highest? The highest on LG was somewhere in the ballpark of like 6,000. So yes, he plays that Tempest character. If you're Tempest or playing with the War Machine, I know there's a little bit of boost there, maybe damage-wise, but he goes off, and like you said, almost earns the 3rd Tempest. But I mean, I like some of the things I saw from LG, but at the end of the day, it's still a 3-0.
Yeah, able to clutch up in that 3rd round. I think that was a great showing. The hard point early on, I think they just needed to get more points, right? They out-rotated OpTic to a couple of hills, that garage and fences in particular. They don't get a big enough advantage. OpTic able to bring that back. You got the streaks out of Karma. The search and destroy, though, that was just perfect out of OpTic.
Do you really see a weakness in OpTic right now through 2 days?
No, I already said no.
That's scary.
I told you no already.
That's scary. I wanted to hear it twice, Joe.
All right, well.
I needed the emphasis on it.
Give you a third time. They have no weakness in any game mode.
All right. I'll quote them there. They're looking so strong. Again, they're perfect in respawn. 1 loss in search and destroy to Splice. That's insane. So what are they, like 14-1 overall map count, something in that ballpark? 15.
There you go.
Yeah, it's got to be 3, doesn't it? As these are best of 5s. But we do have Scump, who went off in that series on the main stage. Let's kick it to a PlayStation instant reaction with Scumpy.
Thanks, Clint. You've had an outstanding showing here so far, only dropping 1 map. How did you prepare for CWL Vegas?
We boot camped against United and Envy, so props to them and thank you guys for coming out. United's doing very well, Envy not so much. But yeah, we just boot camped. We didn't really play too much S&D besides the early games, so really, once we won that S&D 6-0, I was like, this series is over. I mean, we should have 3-0'd them in control, but we made a mistake at the end and we let them get onto the site when we had way more lives. So, I mean, that should have been a 3-0 control, 3-0 series, just GG's to them, but we're back.
Before this series, I spoke with Gunless. He said that LG were feeling confident. Sorry, before this series, I spoke with Gunless. He said LG were feeling confident. He felt as though they could probably beat any team now that you so easily 3-0'd them. How do you respond to that statement?
I mean, that team is amazing talent-wise. You know, they have incredible players from top to bottom. I just think that our chemistry and teamwork is just, I mean, above everybody else's at this point. I mean, our vibes, everything, we're just so close right now, and it feels really good to have a team that I really love and appreciate, you know, and want to win with. So, I mean, they're a great team, but today we got the better of them.
Love to hear that. What are we going to see out of OpTic tomorrow?
Hopefully a chip.
Short and simple. All right, well, thank you so much for the interview. This has been your PlayStation Instant Reaction. Back on over to the desk.
Saturday has been the day of sweeps, and OpTic just swept the hell out of LG. Pack right off the bat. I need your initial reaction.
OpTic is dominant. That teamwork at OpTic, we're sitting here trying to take notes. I'm just sitting.
You guys want to see my nose? I don't know if you guys can zoom in. Listen, we got 4 words. We got Dashy, obviously. We got Dominant, obviously. MVP, Dashy, and Fried. That was LG.
Where's 8100 at? 8100 damage.
8K? Dashy's the best player in the world. 8K?
In that third control round, they're about 0.01 seconds away from that being like the most dominant 3-0 sweep that we've ever seen. Like at this point,
they just got trigger happy on that control. They tried to close out. They're like, "Yo, we got to end it right here." They used all their specialists, and then LG climbed back into a little bit. But there was never a second of that game where you thought LG was going to win it.
And let's take a look now at these match highlights. So dominant, as Studdy said, the entire time from OpTic.
Karma came out really hot swinging in this hard point.
Damon came out swinging.
He makes all types
of Damon's coming out swinging, you know everybody else is coming out swinging.
He just kind of set the tone, right? He came out and he was just destroying, and then towards the middle part of this game, Dashy picked it up as well. Old Reliable on this roster, just going in every single game.
Of course. 2 things to note. If Gunless wasn't on LG, this is bad.
Wow.
Oh, this is like
25-point bad. Like Gunless really is that. I mean, look at the stat line there, 38 and 25.
Even in the control, he gets out of crazy situations.
I don't know how he does it. The other key component for me this entire series, if I'm LG, I'm changing my Tempest player. Stack is not good enough, A, with the thing, and B, getting enough damage to earn the thing quick enough. Dashy almost had 3 in that control. Yes, he has AK damage. I understand that. That's a freakish-like performance. But if you're Stack, you have to pass it off. I would give Formal. Give Formal
100%. Stack is contributing 17% of his team's damage. Like, that's super low. Yeah, it's one of the lowest in the tournament.
That 17%, it felt like Gunless was alone half the time.
Yeah,
he was.
Gunless was alone.
Literally.
Like, there's these scenarios where it's like, okay, LG's about to lose. They're just completely screwed in control, and Gunless gets them out, bails them out of these crazy situations. And sometimes they don't even capitalize on it. It's just like lack of chemistry, lack of teamwork. OpTic is on another level when it comes to team chemistry right now and teamwork.
That search and destroy out of OpTic, I don't think I've ever seen that many team shots. Like every single person was getting just team shot everywhere. I think their highest damage person was like TJ. He had like 1,700 damage. Every single one of them was hitting shots on everyone cross, and it looked like LG had never played that map before.
That was really beautiful on my end. Really beautiful. It's just like when you're just able to sit there, especially you're a player, you're just watching, and the team just looks absolutely flawless. it makes you happy. You're just like, wow.
You smile like,
no, it really is.
They are setting the tone for every single team. Their teamwork is unmatched. I haven't seen any team that could possibly come compare, unless Splice, obviously. I felt like they gave them the closest match.
And let's check out this very, very green series layout, of course, and that 6-0 search and destroy.
In the 6-0 is like, the rounds were like lopsided as hell too. Every round they just dominated them. From the start of the round, they won every single trade. It was just insane.
And look at this S&D
I feel like you haven't seen.
That's so stupid.
They picked them up. They picked them up to be search and destroy stars and helped them out. Dashie turns to a respawn star, even though he already was previous to that. And then they're 1 and 2. 1 and
2.1. You have 2 players on your squad with a 2+ KD.
We haven't seen Scump yelling like this in a while, right? You saw him after every single map. He's getting hyped. Like IW champs, maybe might be the last time we saw him that happy, having that much fun on the main stage, just showing, man.
And you know what? I think as Scump just told Jeff, they are indeed back.
Yeah, they're definitely back. They're definitely back. But the one thing which I actually think is super interesting, just to kind of go a little off topic here, how good is Splice, right? Because if you look at what coming in, we were like LG, definitely a top 3 team. That wasn't a top 3 team kind of performance there. Splice played OpTic really, really close. Now, if you think about teams that can potentially try and beat the Green Wall this event, Splice, to be honest, might actually be the only one. I don't know about United yet. I know they boot camped, but
I feel like Splice is the only team that has shown to have the teamwork comparable to OpTic. And even OpTic has that advantage of, we're talking a lot about Dashie, but top to bottom, we saw Damon go off, we saw Krim go off, Scump go off. If Splice can get someone else other than Temp to go off on a consistent basis, that would give them a chance against OpTic.
Right, and let's pull up now that winner's bracket. Of course, kicking things off today, dominant displays from Splice and OpTic Gaming moving into Champ Sunday.
And that's going to confirm them top 6 as well. They win their semi-final matchup. Welcome to the Pro League. That's all that's going to really matter. And then after that, you can start thinking about, all right, let's bring home a championship, especially with the Green Wall. Bitterly disappointing year.
I can't see, after that, after seeing what OpTic just did to LG and what they did to Splice previously in the tournament, I don't think I can see anybody beating them. Like,
how do you beat them?
It's going to be tough. Like, United is like the last hope. They're the last hope because 100 Thieves, they're not beating OpTic. Like, Lightning Pandas, Sween, I don't think they're beating OpTic.
That's the thing, right? So some of our heavy hitters that we thought would have that chance didn't even get to that point. Like a Red Reserve, 100 Thieves, they're not even... We're not even thinking about them. They're not even in the conversation. They're not in the conversation to compete with a team like OpTic right now. Not even in the conversation.
And now that we've come toward this very rapid conclusion on Saturday, I want to talk about our predictions on this Astro MVP. And I want to go to you first.
Dashie.
Come on.
Dashie. Unanimously. If you say anybody
if anyone else says Dashie, you're fired. Like,
literally.
You can't. No one can sit on this desk and say anyone other than Dashie at this point.
8,100 damage. Come on. Come on. Against these guys, what he just did against this team.
But Pac, can he do it on Sunday?
Man, this guy, he's clearly one of the best players in the game, right? Their team works. Oh, go ahead.
I was just saying, on Control, I think Dashie ended up at 42 and 18.
That's probably the single best performance we've seen on a map so far, right?
I mean, what's crazy?
42 and 18, and Control where your lives matter.
Right here, the play that it just showed, it's so crazy to me. He pulls out his Tempest, and he makes it so hard to kill him. Like, he was just running around, healing up left and right. They could not kill him. It's got to be so frustrating for the other team. And he just puts together so many kills. Incredible player. MVP performance like no other.
2 days in a row.
2 days.
Friday MVP.
Didn't slow down.
Saturday MVP. He's probably going to be Sunday MVP as well.
There was also another match, you know. There was another team that got top 6 today, and it was Splice, obviously. And we do have another Astro MVP, and it has to go to Temp. It has to go to Temp, right?
Yeah. He's speculation.
He's just putting on his show too, man.
They're the same spot in the tournament.
All right, yeah, let's take a look at Temp and Splice here. Astro MVP.